Ocean, I detect,
Okay.
Lacroix.
So, Sojourn aggression. We skip this once, and then we set the skip time to be slower.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
So, this will be our first view. Another question is, when do we actually need the first kill? And this depends mostly on what my team is running and what the enemies are running. So we have more or less a completely pick-based composition, I would say. So we have Hawk that can hook and kill stuff. We have Widow that can just instant shot stuff. So we actually do not pressure too much. We rather just kill stuff instantly, right? Because that's how our team works in general. Like, if you just take both teams and smash them together as a ball, who will come out as a winner? Pen. So, this team against this team. So, let's do it different. So this is my enemy team, because of course of the viewer. And here in green we have my team, right? Now the question is, if we go and evaluate the potential of pressure in kind of like intermingled fight. Like the fight is ongoing, who will win in the ongoing fight? So let's start with the enemy team. Like we have here values. Here up here's 1 with a high value, or let's call 10 a high value. Let's call 1 a low value for the enemy's team. So maybe we write that a little bit different. So here, well, we have already here 1, so we have right here 1, and here we have a 10 because we have always the 0. So here's high value and here's low value. Okay, the top is high value. So Torbjorn in kind of like broad environment should be rather high up. Echo is kind of like an assassin, but has kind of like reoccurring cooldowns, so she can go and go and go. So a little bit lower, but still high. Hawk, roughly the same, but he will kind of lose against horse, against shields, against such things. So he doesn't have too much staying power with his life. So I would say also a little bit mediocre. Mercy, I would say, is again rather high, just always ping-ponging around, supporting what's required. And Mora, of course, is again very high in this type of scenarios. Now we go for the green team, starting with Sojourn. So Sojourn, how much pressure does it have without railgun? Not very much. With railgun, you have pick potential, so I would say rather low, somewhere around the same area as Echo, maybe. I don't know. Widow, no broad potential whatsoever, it's purely pick-based. Mora, again, is high. Hawk is the same value as enemy Hawk, of course. And then we have Anna. So we just decided, is Anna higher or lower than Mercy? Well, in ongoing fight, not really, because, again, Anna will win with her nade, but will lose to a continuous beam of Mercy if she basically misses her nade, I would say. So a little bit lower than Mercy, somewhere around here. And so in general, because Widow's dragging us down, this team, the left side team, will be higher in ongoing value than my team, right? And so I would say, in this instance, I should go more for kills than for pressure. So my goal should be to charge for railgun, as long as my Hawk is going actively in. Then Hawks and Widows and Anna will use their cooldowns, the high value cooldowns, and I will get one shot with my railgun, try to headshot something, and then we all reset basically, and then we repeat this all game until we actually land some kills. I think this would be the general tactic, because what would be the alternative? The alternative is we do the same, we go in, Hawk uses his hook, Anna uses her nade, I shoot, Widow shoot, everyone shoots once, their high value abilities, and then we stay in without the high value abilities, right? And that is, well, kind of risky. But having said that, there are a few things we have to take care of. So we don't need to be the first one to kill. That is one clear distinction we have. So we don't need to be the first one to kill. We can wait for Widow. Maybe she lands a body shot instead of a headshot. We can wait for Hawk. Maybe he misses his hook, but maybe he lands just with right click a headshot. And then we can just body shot something. Like Hawk, 100 damage. Like we just need 70 damage from some random source, which is basically also a nade. If Anna hits a nade, or hits a left click even, we can just railgun this thing to the body and still win. Okay, so we don't need to be the first one to headshot, and this is something we have to keep in mind. Okay, let's see what happened in this game. Okay. So of course, first step is to scout. We saw an echo, we saw a roadhog. So we know we have to take care of the hook. Like, this is already very risky, if I'm sliding away. I could have kept my slide if I respected the hawk a little bit more and would just stay behind my hawk.
You cannot escape me.
Sorry, kinda. Game is very loud. No, wrong button. Okay, and you see, we didn't need to do much. We just wait for our team to hit the cooldown, the nade, something damage the hawk, probably a headshot from the widow. Don't know what happened, damaged him. So we got the free kill for first. And I would say we were already too aggressive. So we have not done much. We have just charged the railgun. Could we have done the same with less risk? Is now the question. So I think we have done enough. We just went passively and waited for our team to get some value, and then we just railgunned inside of it, and it was totally fine. So let's see, could I have done the same with less risk? Spectate overlay. So I can hold the same angle that I'm having here. I can do the same from back here. I can do roughly the same for maybe having this angle. Or even from high ground. High ground is maybe a little bit strange. And everything, the different angle is exposed to different types of enemies, right? But I think against this roadhog, there's no reason for me to stay in this 20-meter range of his, where his hook can land. I can just stay back either this corner or this corner, would be totally fine. So I'm already too close for no reason. And because I'm that close, I'm forced to actually stop shooting here. If I had been further away, I could have rotated around the bus and continued shooting from further away. I didn't need to stop shooting, and I didn't need to hide all the time. And because I'm so close again, I need to close the corner very close. Being very frontliney, taking risk of getting just a dual hit by some random things, like Mirror or Pentorp headshot or something randomly thrown into the front, maybe from the turret. Because I'm so close. Like again, I could have done the exact same thing from inside here, like below the balcony. I could have the same viewing angle, like roughly. I don't need to go in here, right? I can give my tank all the time in the world to go in. I don't need to force it, basically. Okay, here we go for an aggressive slide. But what is the actual risk here? There is no risk because the entire enemy team is further back. We just have a Moira here, so there actually isn't too much of a risk. I can totally do the Moira, right? That's totally fine. So we just chill here and wait for our tank to do something, and yeah. And then we just go and chill with our tank. I don't think I need to do here strictly more. Do I need to get more value here? Kinda, yes. Because honestly, my hawk is getting suspiciously low. So I kinda would have liked a little bit more value here. How could I have got more value from this entire sequence? This railgun. Could have done something more with this railgun. So we have 70 charge, 80 charge, 85 charge, and we are roughly on headshot level. Right? So if top wouldn't jump, we are roughly on headshot level. So it's not too bad, but yeah, I don't know. They're all just jumping. Here's our railgun. And it actually entirely misses. Okay, that is a little bit interesting. So this railgun... I kind of think I need to get cleaner railgun hits on jumping targets. Like, jumps make my aim worse, but it should be the opposite round. If they jump, I should just wait for the end of the curve and just hit them right in the head, right there, and then it's easy headshot. Right, to see how low my roadhog gets? That's too low for my taste. And that is because my railgun's a little bit trash. So this railgun was too soon. Because the thing is, I could have gotten an easier angle for my railguns. So we see this again. So we charge here, and now instead of shooting, I can slide sideways to here and shoot them while sliding. Why would that be advantageous? Because this guy's actually it wouldn't be too advantageous. Actually, going to here would be actually easier to hit the shots on Echo or on Torbjorn, going more to the left. So actually going to the left would be even better. And why? Because these guys are focusing the Roadhog, so they are mostly strafing like this. So if you look at this from top, they are going like here in a straight line. So if you would be here, you would see a perfect straight line. But if you are back here, you see kinda a straight line. It's not a perfect clear line, but an easier line than from actually here, right? Because they are actually dodging the hog. I have no idea which button I just pressed. It just zoomed me out somewhere. Okay, so here I need a little bit more value, but instead I'm walking backwards. Instead I could have going more forward to the car and maybe shoot them a little bit more from a closer position, scare them off a little bit more, do a little bit more, I think. So here I was a little bit too scared in general. So he would just want to buy the shot from a pressure. So just, I don't know. The thing is that actually, at this point, the enemies actually are with the back against the wall, so they go all in and just try to kill something to take them to the death with them, basically. So we want to actually kill something at some point. Because even if you miss, it doesn't... Shot the wall doesn't change much. Now here again, I'm ultra aggressive. And do I gain anything from it? I can totally risk getting hooked here. And I also could have used the same time to go for high ground. And then right when my Reaper dies, I'm actually not there. So I actually realized I'm too aggressive and go more defensive. So instead I think it's better to go even further back. So you have two corners between you and the enemy and just poke them from back here. Because your reality is you will not get hooked from here, right? There's no need to completely clear the corner. So in general I would say I have the tendency to play a little bit too close. When I don't need to kill, when I just need pressure, I can do the same pressure from a little bit further away. So a little bit less risk. Like this, perfect. Because it's just easier to focus fire if you're with your team. Watch this a little bit faster. So here is this cleanup, so I'm here so aggressive. And this is a little bit risky because if only Moira follows, it's basically a 2-on-2. But Reaper also follows, so it's a 3-on-2, so they can't get close, so it's kinda okay. But just need to be mindful that teammates are actually with me, otherwise I can end up in a 1 vs 2 situation, which would then be of course too aggressive. And I keep pushing forward without too much need. So I do not gain too much. So I'm like 2 or 3 meters, I'm still too close to them. I could do the same from a little bit further away. I can do the same from a little bit further away, right? So instead of being here, I can be here. Same angle, better cover. I can be here. A little bit more aggressive angle, but even then, better cover, right? I can even jump up here and do stuff, or whatever, or peek here once, and then go from here again. So I can play around this cover, while here I'm really stuck at being really only at this one angle, because I don't have any cover everywhere. So why? And because, again, I'm a little bit too close. So I think this will be then the topic for the training today. We try to keep roughly the same level of aggression or non-aggression, even if it was wrong, but we try the same from a little bit. Like, we try to go really safe if you don't need to push. But then at some moment we pull the trigger and say, now we all in. And then we go all in from this angles that we have, right? Because again, it's mostly about angles. I don't have damage drop-off. I can be further away with Sojourn. Because mostly I'm not really tracking too much. I'm just shooting down one corridor, right? So there's no need for me to be closer. So this is what we will be trying for today from this VOD review.